Special Minister of State Mal Brough tonight stands accused of misleading federal parliament. During question time, Mr Brough accused the Nine Network's 60 Minutes of verballing him over the Peter Slipper affair. But as Laurie Oakes reports, a tape of the minister's interview with the program shows otherwise.
Back in 2012, during the row that forced Peter Slipper to resign as Speaker, it emerged that a staffer, James Ashby, had copied parts of the Speaker's diary. Mal Brough, who later won Mr Slipper's Queensland seat, appeared to admit on 60 Minutes in September last year that he'd asked Mr Ashby to get the diaries.
Did you ask James Ashby to procure copies of Peter Slipper's diary for you?
Yes, I did.
After that interview, the Australian Federal Police took an interest. 2 weeks ago, they raided Mr Brough's home with a search warrant that said they were investigating whether he had counselled and procured Mr Ashby to access restricted data, contrary to the Crimes Act. In Parliament today, Mr Brough, promoted to Cabinet after he helped Malcolm Turnbull topple Tony Abbott as Prime Minister, made this claim.
In relation to the 60 Minutes interview, what was put to air was not the full question.
Well, here is the full question.
Why then also did you did you ask James Ashby to procure copies of Peter Slipper's diary for you?
Yes, I did.
All that was cut was the stumble at the start.
Why then also did you
It didn't change the question at all. Mr Brough's claim, in effect, that he was verbaled doesn't stand up. He left himself wide open to the very serious charge of misleading Parliament. Labor's Shadow Attorney-General, Mark Dreyfus, watched the original 60 Minutes tape a short time ago.
It's very clear what he said. It's a clear answer to a clear question, and this was not edited, as the Minister suggested today.
Labor is targeting Mr Brough over the issue because the portfolio Mr Turnbull gave him makes him responsible for government integrity and ministerial standards.
I don't see how this Minister can keep his job after that.
Earlier on radio, Mr Ashby also tried to get Mr Brough off the hook he'd put in his own mouth on 60 Minutes.
I can assure you that never at any point did Mal Brough ask me for copies of those diaries.
But in the process, Mr Ashby dropped a second minister in it, saying Wyatt Roy, another Turnbull supporter promoted after the leadership coup, had asked him to copy the Slipper diary. Laurie Oakes, 9 News.